Two teens, two secret lives, one unforgettable love story. Let's recap the full story of Horimiya. The story begins with Kyoko Hori, who is popular at school, but at home she hides her real life, cooking, cleaning, and taking care of her little brother Sota. While her parents are at work one day, Sota gets hurt and a stranger brings him home. Hori is shocked when the stranger reveals he is her quiet classmate, Izumi Miyamura. Outside school, he looks completely different. Piercings, tattoos. They see each other's hidden sides and agree to keep it secret. Miyamura visits often, and they grow close. At school, Ishikawa gets jealous seeing them together and confesses to Hori, but she rejects him. When she learns Miyamura told Ishikawa to try, she gets upset, thinking he doesn't care. They argue but make up, understanding their bond is special. Next day, Miyamura reveals his tattoos to Ishikawa. Later, Miyamura and Hori spend more time together, even grocery shopping. When talking about him with her mom, Hori realizes she doesn't know his first name. She tries silly methods to find out, listening at the boys' locker room, checking class lists, and setting up a meeting with her mom. Miyamura notices something is wrong, and Hori admits it. He laughs and tells her his first name is Izumi. On their school trip to Kyoto, everyone has fun until they reach the hotel's public bath. Miyamura panics because of his tattoos and piercings. Ishikawa covers for him with a ridiculous excuse. He says Miyamura is on his period. Later, Miyamura bumps into Hori in the hallway, and she offers him her room's private shower. Next day, Hori asks Miyamura what he's going to do about the bath today. When Miyamura tells her he'll use the late-night bath, Hori becomes shy because of both the question and his answer. The class enjoys the rest of the trip. Back at school, Sengoku from the student council asks Hori to help with paperwork. She works late and gives the finished report to Remy. On the way out, Remy bumps into Miyamura and drops the report, telling him to throw it away. He keeps it. The next day, Sengoku blames Hori for losing it, so Miyamura steps in, returns the report, and even headbutts Sengoku. Hori then explains she helped Sengoku because they were childhood friends, and she used to bully him, and Sengoku blackmailed her not to tell anyone. Later, Miyamura learns Hori's birthday is soon. Remembering she talked about music, he buys her a CD. They spend her birthday quietly at her home, growing closer. Flashbacks show Miyamura's lonely school years, where he was called gloomy and even pierced his ear himself. In the present, Hori, Miyamura, Ishikawa, and Yuki end up in the same class again. Miyamura still feels like an outsider at first, remembering how he was always alone in group work. But this time, they join him. On the rooftop, he asks Ishikawa what he thinks of him. Ishikawa says Miyamura is strange, but that's what makes him likable. This comforts Miyamura. The next morning, Remy teases Hori about taking Miyamura. Hori snaps and says she won't let anyone take him. Ishikawa overhears this. Later, he confronts Miyamura about Hori's feelings, but Miyamura denies it. They get into a physical fight, then apologize and make up. That night, while watching a horror movie, Hori almost confesses, but instead says she loves his hands. Miyamura quietly says he loves her. Later, Ishikawa helps Sakura pick up dropped papers, and Sakura starts liking him. The group becomes closer after spending time with the student council. During a snack drawing game, Hori and Miyamura are chosen to buy snacks. Remy teases that Ishikawa liked Hori, and Sakura hears the truth and feels conflicted. Miyamura meets his old friend Shindo, the only person kind to him in middle school. Shindo jokes about Hori being Miyamura's girlfriend, even though Miyamura denies it. Later, Shindo and Hori meet, and Miyamura panics when he sees them. A flashback shows how Miyamura and Shindo became friends. Soon after, Hori gets sick. Miyamura rushes to care for her. When she tearfully begs him not to leave, he stays until she sleeps. Before leaving, he quietly says, "I love you." Hori is awake and hears everything. After the confession, Hori avoids him and pretends to still be sick. She knows she likes him too, but fears changing their friendship. When Suta sees Miyamura with another girl, Hori thinks he's cheating and throws a book at him. After school, Miyamura explains the girl was Shindo's girlfriend. Hori apologizes. Miyamura says he knew she was awake when he confessed, but ran away because he didn't know what she'd say. Right then, Hori's dad, Kyosuke, bursts in causing chaos. He jokes around with Miyamura while Hori scolds him. When he asks if Miyamura is her boyfriend, Hori boldly says, "He's my boyfriend. You got a problem with that?" Later, Hori's mom returns and is shocked Kyosuke came home. That night, Hori and Miyamura finally make it official. They become a real couple. Kyosuke quickly becomes friends with Miyamura, and he even stays the night, sleeping next to Kyosuke. But when classmates see Miyamura leaving Hori's house in the morning, rumors spread at school. The gossip bothers him, so he decides to stop hiding. He cuts his long hair, removes his glasses, and shows his piercings. Everyone is shocked, even his friends. Some girls approach him, but Hori stands beside him like an ice queen. Later, they visit Shindo, and Miyamura surprises Hori with a kiss, which shocks her. The next day, a new student, Sawada, appears. She's hostile toward Miyamura and overly attached to Hori. She tells Hori she likes her and wonders why she doesn't break up with a guy like Miyamura. Soon it's revealed Miyamura and Sawada are neighbors, and she lost her older brother, so Miyamura reminds her of him. One day, when some guys harass Sawada while she's waiting for Hori, Miyamura steps in to protect her. Hori and Miyamura grow closer, but Kyosuke often interrupts them. Miyamura then leaves for a few days for a memorial in Hokkaido. Hori misses him badly and becomes restless. Worried her less feminine traits might push him away. When he returns, he assures her he loves her as she is. Meanwhile, Sakura and Yuki both start liking Ishikawa. Sakura, encouraged by Sengoku, bakes cookies and gives them to Ishikawa. One night, Miyamura dreams of meeting his lonely middle school self. The younger him asks if life gets better, and the older Miyamura says yes, showing how far he has come thanks to Hori and his friends. While walking home, Miyamura and Hori are stopped by two boys. One is Tanihara, his old bully. Tanihara mocks Miyamura's new look, making him freeze up. Hori steps in and chases them off. Later, Tanihara feels guilty and talks with Shindo, starting to face his past. During summer, there's a mandatory pool class. Miyamura panics because of his tattoos, and Sengoku panics about his thin body. They beg Yasuda-sensei to excuse them. Sengoku makes up wild stories, while Miyamura repeats the old, "I'm on my period" excuse. In the end, they skip swimming and clean the pool instead. Later, Hori continues teasing Miyamura with her dominance requests, causing misunderstandings at school where people think he turned into a bad boy. Yanagi confesses to Yuki. Shocked, she rejects him, and Ishikawa pretends to be her boyfriend to help. Later, she learns Yanagi has terrible eyesight but truly meant to confess, making her unsure about her feelings for both boys. Back at home, Miyamura tells Kyosuke about Hori's dominance thing, and Kyosuke jokes that maybe she likes it because Miyamura is usually a good boy. Preparations for sports day begin. Miyamura and Sengoku dread it. The students are split into two teams. Sakura worries about cheerleading, but Yuki helps her practice even though they're on rival teams. A chaotic cooking class follows where Sakura works with Sengoku and Remi, who are totally useless. She saves the group, and when she jokes that she'll marry them if they can't find partners, they call her boyfriend material. Later, Hori gets jealous when she sees Miyamura sharing a textbook with another girl. At sports day, the girls' hurdle race comes first. Hori races against Remi, and Remi teasingly claims that Miyamura is cheering for her. Flustering Hori? Even though they're on different teams, Miyamura still cheers for Hori, showing his support. But in the end, Remi wins and Hori loses the race. Next is the scavenger hunt. Miyamura must find someone skinny and picks Sengoku. Hori's card says Student Council President, so she also grabs Sengoku, and they tie the race in the cavalry battle. Miyamura faces Sengoku. Miyamura distracts him and he looks away, and Miyamura grabs his headband, winning for his team, but Hori's team wins overall. Miyamura meets Hori later while she's in her cheer outfit, calls her cute, and she runs away shyly. He realizes this was his first and last sports day, and he's happy he enjoyed it. The next day, Miyamura meets Tanihara again. They end up squeezed inside a small locker in a dreamlike scene. Miyamura explains his past loneliness, and Tanihara fully faces his guilt. Later, Tanihara calls Shindo for Miyamura's number. Miyamura doesn't answer. Finally, Tanihara visits Miyamura's family bakery and awkwardly tries to make amends by ordering a cake. Miyamura gently tells him the shop is closing and thanks him, telling him to come back another day. The Hori family buys a new kotatsu and everyone loves it. Hori and Miyamura try to study under it but keep falling asleep, and Suda naps there constantly. Kyosuke joins too, turning the room into chaos. At one point, Hori, Miyamura, and Kyosuke all get stuck under the kotatsu together while Suda sleeps through everything. Later, after an awkward meeting with Kyosuke, Sengoku is dragged to the Hori house and ends up relaxing under the kotatsu like he lives there. Hori is mildly annoyed as yet another person takes over her home. Yuki continues pretending to date Ishikawa to keep others away, but she secretly loves him. This hurts even more because Sakura also likes Ishikawa. Feeling guilty, Yuki isolates herself and compares herself to melting snow, disappearing for Sakura's sake. After staying home for days, Yuki returns when Ishikawa texts her that Sakura confessed to him. She expects Ishikawa to choose Sakura, but he says Sakura just wanted to express her feelings. Ishikawa admits he doesn't think he's good enough for Sakura. Yuki tells her snow metaphor, and Ishikawa answers that snow melts because it decides to leave, hinting he wants her to stay. He takes her hand as snow begins to fall. Meanwhile, Sakura cries alone and is comforted by Sengoku. As Christmas nears, Hori worries about her future with Miyamura after graduation, while Miyamura is busy helping at his family's bakery. Around them, everyone has small holiday moments. Panics at Remi's house because of her father's bug collection, and classmates enjoy the season. On Christmas Eve, Miyamura joins the Hori family for a while, but he can't stay the whole night because he has to help at his family's bakery, disappointing Kyosuke and Soda. During their time together, she admits she wants to stay with him even after high school. Miyamura says he wants them to be together forever, and Hori happily agrees. The year ends with them celebrating New Year's together. He's the last person she sees in the old year and the first in the new one. School starts, and Yanagi drops his contact lens and Ishikawa helps him look for it. But Sengoku misunderstands and thinks Yanagi is bothering him. Miyamura sees Sawada being teased after dropping her scarf. Remembering his own past, he comforts her. Later, Kyosuke suddenly brings Sengoku and his father Takeru home. Takeru is shocked at how relaxed Miyamura is, and Kyosuke casually reveals he's Hori's boyfriend. Takeru disapproves of dating in high school. Hori and Miyamura then tease Sengoku for hiding his relationship with Remi. Kyosuke and Takeru end up arguing loudly about teen romance. He fears the day his father finds out. Another day, Hori and Sengoku get locked in the council room, and Yasuda jumps to wild conclusions until Terajima scolds him. Miyamura later jokes that Sengoku is lucky he survived Hori's temper. The story shifts to Remi and Sengoku's past. They bonded over a book about the last day on Earth, confessed their feelings, and built a stable, honest relationship. Sengoku hosts a sleepover with Miyamura, Ishikawa, and Yura. His father is shocked he has friends. That night, Sengoku has no space to sleep because the others fill the room. Curious about Miyamura's tattoos, Sengoku tries to peek under his shirt, but Yura walks in and catches him, causing a funny misunderstanding. They rearrange the room, and Miyamura's secret stays hidden. Yuki visits Ishikawa's house to play games. Ishikawa panics that his mother might be home, but she arrives anyway. He tries to push her out of the room, but she still enters and gives them cake. Later, they tell Yanagi to stop using formal speech and call them by their first names. Miyamura even feels a little jealous that no one calls him by his first name yet. Hori and Yuki discover that Yura has a younger sister, Motoko, a quiet middle schooler. They are shocked that carefree Yura is actually an older brother. Yura becomes obsessed with stopping Motoko's study session with her crush. He spreads false rumors about him, and even tries to cancel the meeting by claiming it will snow. When Kitahara arrives, Yura stays in the room acting cold, but it backfires. Kitahara once saw him training with a fake sword and now idolizes him instead of being scared. Motoko gets upset because Kitahara seems more interested in her brother, making her feel plain. The whole situation keeps bothering her, and she worries Kitahara actually likes Yura more. Later at school, Yura tells the story to Hori, Miyamura, and Ishikawa, who tease him and say he should just get along with Kitahara. One day, Miyamura hears that Yanagi's bus is running late in the cold, so he, Hori, and Remi bring him warm drinks to help him. The next day, Yanagi admits he often oversleeps, so the group calls and texts him until he finally gets up for class. Later, Sakura tries to buy the newest weekly Shinobi, but it's sold out. She meets Yanagi, who bought the last copy, and he offers to lend it to her. Their shared hobby brings them closer, even as classmates gossip. Sakura feels awkward, but Yanagi ignores the rumors. Sengoku tries to be friendlier with Yanagi, who stays oddly formal with him. Sengoku says he doesn't need to act stiff, and Yanagi replies he's casual only with friends, then panics at what he just implied. Later, Ishikawa tells Sengoku to act more like Yura. At a vending machine, Sengoku panics when Yanagi calls his name and buys the wrong drink. Yanagi takes it, buys him the right one, and Sengoku awkwardly tries to copy Yura, but Yanagi can't explain what that feel even is. At home, Yura shows a soft side. He is calm and gentle with Motoko and comforts her when her teacher says she's not smart enough for the school she wants. He tells her one school won't decide her life, and she can go to his old school if she wants. Worried about her, he asks Hori to tutor Motoko, and Hori agrees. A funny scene shows everyone running to school with food in their mouths, only to learn they weren't late. During a middle school tour, Yura hides from Kitahara, but his friends accidentally expose him. Kitahara happily calls out to him. Yasuda-sensei misunderstands it as Yura bullying him, and takes it from there. At the library, Sakura leaves early and walks with Sengoku. Hori sees them and yells about a bug to distract Remi. Later, Ishikawa and Yura see Sengoku and Sakura at a cafe. Sengoku tells them not to tell Remi, making it look worse. The truth, Remi lost a bet on her math score, so Sengoku and Sakura went to buy cookies as a surprise. Nothing romantic happened. We see more of Remi and Sengoku's sweet relationship when Remi warms her hands on Sengoku's face during a cold walk. Sawada continues struggling to fit in, especially around Yura's loud group. When Yura is quiet because he feels sick, he helps her kindly, and Sawada thinks he hates her. She meets Sakura, but when Yura appears, she dislikes him again. Sawada spends time with older students like Remi and Yuki, who comfort her and share snacks. Wanting to connect with her class, she fixes the art club poster. Sengoku and Remy see it and help her move it to a better spot. The next day, her classmates thank her because a new student joined the club, giving Sawada a confidence boost. The Valentine's Day coming. Hori panics about making chocolate for Miyamura because she thinks her sweets can't compare to his family's bakery. Miyamura, meanwhile, asks Sawada for advice on cute gift wrapping. Sawada also helps a shy girl buy chocolates for Yura, but ends up keeping them when the girl gets too nervous. Sawada even gives her own little gift back. That night, Hori and Miyamura exchange gifts. Miyamura gives her a nicely made dessert, and Hori nervously gives him her unwrapped ganache. Miyamura eats it happily and says it's sweet and delicious, easing her stress. As graduation approaches, Yuki, Miyamura, and Ishikawa start packing their things and realize they've collected piles of random items. They jokingly ask Hori to carry their stuff nearby. Yura proudly shows his empty desk. He took everything home day by day, and the group returns the CDs they borrowed. Ending the moment with light teasing in the student council room, Sengoku and Sakura clean out old posters and files. They pause, feeling a bit nostalgic about how much time they spent there. The rest of the council joins them, and they all promise to go to the beach together that summer. Later, Hori reflects on her early high school days. Ishikawa's shy crush, her awkward distance from Remy, and the constant feeling that something was missing. She realizes that meeting Miyamura was what completed her life and their whole friend group. On graduation day, Sengoku gives a serious speech until Miyamura suddenly sneezes, breaking the solemn mood and making the whole hall laugh. Even younger students like Sawada feel sad watching their seniors leave. After the ceremony, Miyamura goes to the rooftop and sees a vision of his old self, the lonely, long-haired boy from before he met Hori. He accepts his past and lets that version of himself go. He imagines what life would have been like if he never met Hori and realizes how much their meeting changed. Ishikawa and Sakura say goodbye to each other. Yuki watches them from hiding, and Yanagi appears to tell her they should go somewhere together in the summer. After that, Kyosuke cheers for Miyamura more than for Hori, making Hori mad. She asks Miyamura where his parents are, and he explains they had to leave for work. Finally, Hori promises she'll stay by his side and help him through the dark moments, just as he supports her. Miyamura jokes that he'd love to give her the whole sky, but she'd probably prefer a cake. Miyamura and Hori are step into their future together, leaving high school behind but carrying their bonds with them. The story ends with Hori cutting her hair short and feeling unsure, so she drags Miyamura to get his hair cut too. If you want more recaps like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know what anime you want to see next.